All right. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. It's time for track feedback on March 12th. I'm Barefoot, and we got a lot of tracks today. There's my monitor feed. There we go. Turning off the phone. Yeah. Cool. And let's start it off as soon as I get my screen up with a couple of new releases while everybody's coming in. Spectral, Matt Schultz on Bandcamp. Little dub techno. And he's been putting out some quality, consistent stuff that sounds good. Hey, Matt Schultz, there you are in the chat. Just like magic, you play their tracks and they appear in the chat. Ben Hunt, Paul, Mr. Melvis, what's going on, everybody? Talking about coaxial cables and PC builds and M1. And there's a new M1 that's like the M1 Pro that's apparently like all video spec'd out. You might have heard me talk about replacing fans and batteries and shit this winter, and I'm looking at new Macs too. I'm thinking about the Mini and an external screen. I haven't had a desktop since forever, but I might get a MacBook Pro. I don't know. Maybe first I'll get the money to do it. Okay, Spectral, cool little release. And
everything owes existence solely and completely to sound.
Okay. And you know, I hate to pause tracks and I hate to skip through tracks, but we got to preview a couple little jams that have been coming through the group and that are coming out, getting released. Shepherd's EP coming out on the 25th, I think, which is available for pre-order right now on Thorium Records. So hit up Thorium, grab the No Mercy tracks and remixes from 8 Noon. And we heard a bunch of this coming out through the group. It's really nice to see it getting published. And a new one that just popped up I saw yesterday on Bebop Music from Scott Burke, Canada. Doink. Okay. Stop. That sounded a little bit glitchy for me on playback. So congratulations, Scott, for getting that track through and going out to Bebop. And I'm going to be promoting these. Release date 3/11. Oh, that's out. I'll be doing a little bit better, more official promo with this on the Instagram channel and everything. And for anybody watching, what I'm actually building towards is I love promoting people's tracks, but I want to get a group network promo push happening, which means we're going to have folders of releases where you can find the square graphics, the text, the link, and maybe a video clip. And you can take them and paste them into your own Instagram and social posts and share them to help promote people in the group. So when you give somebody feedback and they have a new release and you feel awesome that the release is done, you can help share their stuff and get promo on it. And then when you have a new release, you'll have like 20 people pushing your release, which is kind of like when we do track feedback. You share a track, you give somebody comments, and they give you comments, and your track gets progressed faster. We're going to take that whole model and apply it to publishing and promotion so that all the people who are helping each other create and produce tracks with sound design, song structure, and mixing, now we're going to get into helping each other promote and spread the tracks with individual releases, EPs, albums, and mix sets, and maybe live videos or whatever, which is a natural extension of our whole community. I never thought about it this way until we started talking about making a record label and publishing, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're actually doing group promotion and distribution. It's not just about having a release up online for download and buying it. It's like having a whole bunch of people who are connected at the root level of making the music, then sharing it and distributing it, which is really exciting. I think it's super cool. So we got some stems up in Google Drive. You can find this in the Techno channel with Caesar put this up for a little remix. And I'm not going to play the big old sack of drums. Just want to point it out. It's up there. And we got a bunch of tracks, so let's jump right in and start listening. OSP, we got some there for you. Got Randy. And Caesar, I grabbed your track right at the last minute. Paul, I got your track V2 right at the last minute. Thank you guys for getting them in on Discord in time. And I don't know if Scott's awake in our universe, but let's check out what he's doing. There's Spectrum. There's my little monitor levels. And let me know if anybody has any questions or whatever. You can type them in. And you know what to do. Broadcast volume coming up. So this is the one that kind of goes and becomes like a second song afterwards, or it's like a long jam. Jesper's here. Tenka, what's up? Yeah, so Scott, this is sounding good so far. The mix is cool, the beats are tight. Feels like you worked on the timpani thing a bit, right? Yeah, and took out some of those extra fast timpani hits that were making it too crowded, keeping it more empty. Right here, it's nice and thick. Yeah, it does feel more glued together. Okay, right there at 240, I would put a delay on the me. And I don't mean to make it predictable. Me. Just a little subtle one, a little bit of effects. It doesn't have to be like a big psychedelic dub effect, but I don't know if everybody coming through the group puts delay on the vocal. I guess it might be kind of predictable, but that's just naturally something I hear like, oh, it's kind of a little tweak you could do right there to take the me over the transition line. And there we go. I like right here that the wood block thing dropped out and it's just the beats. Big and empty. Is this where you said you could listen to it for like 10 minutes? And now we're at the break where Scott was saying it's like a live set type track of a total transition to another thing. Works so far. And a little pitch bend going down to the drop. It's killing me, I touch your body. And then the beat comes back and it's clearly the same song, so I'm good with it so far. Call that a nice long breakdown. Ben, the timpani drums. I think the timpani sounds best when it's really simple and there's not anything else going on. Let's roll that back. Around here, 3.5 minutes. And specifically, it's because there's a long tail of reverb on those timpani. Listen to the one that's here. Listen to the reverb tail of the timpani. You can hear it build up and it's like the reverb goes behind it and up and down kind of. So when you have a complex sound like that that's mid-range bass and an echo that gets kind of like floofy, like it's good to be able to experience that whole sound in the context of just a bass and a beat. And then when we get back over to here, all that reverb and stuff gets lost from the timpani because there's all the synth and everything else going on. So I hear what you're saying, that that sound is that timpani sound kind of demands a lot of attention. So what I would do in these middle sections when there's a lot of other stuff going on, Scott, is I would take it dry, cut the effects off of it, cut the tail short, because the percussion attack is cool and the rhythm's cool. Pop, 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 pow. That's great, you know? Down, bounce, pop, 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 boom. So if you want to get into it for detailed mixing, in this section, cut it short, cut the tail short, take the effects off, have a real nice dry attack, just count, 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 count. and then the part where it's in the middle with the drums and just by itself, then have like a big effect on it and show like here's the timpani sound with the long tail and everything. Oh, good, you're here. Good. Yeah, short. Oh, I just saw your comment. Shortened the timpani samples are too long. They're okay when they're by themselves, but when they're with the synths and everything, they're too long. And this is cool. The melody's going up. It's building to a peak. 540 is still totally in the track. That's great. High melody note kind of matching the voice and the pitch of the voice. It's almost like the synth blends into a female vocal. A pregnant pause. And back in for the ending. Body. Perfect. Low end is good, yeah. And then the wood blocks come in back again like they were at the beginning. I'm feeling it. This is a kind of a track that if you drop this on the right audience and they're coming with you, they'll be like really into it. It moves through sections. It's a little bit unpredictable. It's not like the standard like 6 minute, you know, beats, gap, build up, gap, beats, whatever. And then knowing your body of work with your female vocal presentation and the way the tracks kind of morph and go through styles, I think it'll fit with a set. So super tight, yeah. It's got like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, like a strong beat, keep people going. And I want to hear somebody mix I Can't Get You Out of My Head after this from Kylie Minogue, just because that upbeat and the bass sound and everything. I can't get you out of my head. Oh. But I'm serious about that. There's a lot of cool remixes of that track. Coming back, I'm dating myself like that's like 2003. Is that track 20 years old? Fuck. Yeah, that timpani is super cool when you hear it as a isolated sound where you can appreciate the whole thing. And it's good that it's a funky, unusual, unique sound. I mean, sound design is all about making something recognizable that people can hear. Doesn't sound like you just grabbed a preset from whatever. So really all you got to do is leave it long and big with a big reverb bloom on it when it's by itself. And the rest of the time, chop it short, keep the attack. In fact, I would even make a drum rack and copy that and have like almost like two different instruments. So when you're in the thick part of the track, you have the short, choppy instrument that can be like gong, 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 gong. And then when it's by itself with the beat, it's like whoo, and there's the big one. Very insured by that Kylie tune. Did you mean influenced instead of insured? Inspired. Changing the vibe totally throughout the track, but keeping it as a one unit somehow. Yeah, it's good. When it comes back right here, I like the beat, I think, the most right here.
It's killing me, I touch your body.
With that synth on top and the beat comes back, I could just see people with their eyes closed like, ah, yeah, give it to me. So I want to keep listening, but we got some more going on. So I think that one's about done. Maybe tweak the timpani a little bit in the middle parts of the mix like we were talking about and slap that off to the mastering house to make it mix yummy official. All right, Tony Ryan, Hammer, Dressing Gown. I think we did this one before, right? Last week? Not 100%. This is one of the ones that we had kind of posted in 2 channels or something. But let's just run through it. Kick drum is sounding good. Little reverse cymbal coming in on the drop. That's good. I would EQ a little bit of the kick drum so it doesn't have as much high frequency. It has a nice click on the front, but it could be a little bit of a darker tone, just less high frequencies. So take a high shelf EQ, put it at like 2000 hertz, take it down like minus 6 dB. So you have a little bit of the knock on it, but not like the Oh, cool, Scott, the dual drum idea. And the cool thing is you can just copy the MIDI track and now you have all your MIDI programming done and just route the MIDI into a different set of samples for those couple parts where you want a different sound, you know? That's a good riser. One more time, because I was talking. I like that steady synth going. Some synths happening. I could use a new percussion layer, like another hi-hat or something coming in to develop the percussion, because so far it's the same hi-hat. No clap, no snare, no nothing else, so we could use a little percussion development. Yeah, the bass could be a little bit. It's hitting the right sections though. We had an intro section of beats. That breakdown was a little short. The beat came in a little too soon. Okay, there's another hi-hat. That's good. Bassline could be a little louder. Right here, 3 minutes, cut the hi-hat. Let that synth thing, basically in the breakdowns, work on tweaking the synths and doing more sounds. Yep, synth interplay. Let's all send some DJ Waters love for his hangover, his epic 3-day birthday party. We know you're listening out there somewhere in the dark. Okay, now the build-up is starting. Hi-hat's coming back in. It would be good in this part to tweak something on the synth so that the notes we're hearing are also changing with like a flanger or something like moving, so the sounds are moving, not just repeating the note pattern. Or changing the pitch, or opening a filter, or adding a reverb. Like this, riser. Oh, okay. Now we feel like we're in a new song, because we haven't heard this yet. Like a 4-chord pattern. And it's gonna need a bit more of a mix. Those claps feel weird. They're on the upbeats. Those claps are taking me out. The number one thing you gotta fix when the claps come in is put them on the 2 and the 4. So when the kick comes in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. Yeah, get those claps happening steady with the kick drum beats, and it'll be much, much, much better, because there's too much. Like the kick drum is straight, and the beat is straight, and the bass line is going doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. But those claps are like, and it's totally taking me out. So yeah, before we even get into the mixing and everything, really get those claps on, and synchronized, and then the track will just flow. So let's move on. Donat's sleeping in his bed. Yeah, way too much swing on the, yeah. Oh, Stuart's here, cool. Sound design is cool, I agree. All right, V2 Donat's EQ flat, and let's see. And I'm not sure if this is an updated mix. That's the OSP one. Turn this up a little bit. I think he updated the audio file, because I would have noticed if it was. Yeah, dial it back to simplicity. Keep it simple. Little bit of high EQ. Catching a green velvet vibe right here. Shepherds. Ooh, that's a good hi-hat. Sounds like a raspy, kind of papery. I hope we can hear the bass line all by itself. Oh, Oliver, no update? Okay. You got some other tracks. So. Something about the fuzz bass layer I wanted to bring out. But let's... Oh, yeah. That clap. Good. The percussion's nice and bright on top. The bass line is, I can hear the fuzzy part, but it's a little bit like... Doo-doo. The mid-range of the bass line could be a little louder. There's like a little string sample before this other stuff came in. There's like a comes in right around here. Okay, like a little string thing. Stick it down, 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 down. Now I'm not really sure what notes the bass line is playing. There's like a high guitar riff here, vocal riff here, bass kind of in the center. Yeah, is that a vocoder? I don't know. Okay, here's that bass line. Yeah, that's cool. I like what just happened right here. That bass line has got too much. It's a really wide frequency band, and some of it's kind of muddy in the sub thing. And some of it's really nice and buzzy on top. I think you could use a lot more of the buzzy part and cut out something like 280, 275, 300 hertz. Something in the lower mids you could cut out with a notch, and it would feel brighter and louder. This part feels locked in. And that bass line's getting burnt. I like it simple without the vocal sample and the guitar riff sample. That one little piece is enough. And just for contrast, the part that makes me feel too crowded is like around here. There's like all this mid-range stuff that's harmonically not quite synchronized. So it's like you can't really sing along with it. I'm kind of confused what notes the bass line is going to settle on. And there's just like a lot going on. I like it when it's here. It's like bass line and one little melodic element, and that's it. And then beats. And I can just like groove with it. So maybe simplicity is the theme of the day, because this track sounds much better with fewer elements. And the elements you have are cool, but not all at the same time. Ben, dirty bass line. I agree. I like it. Shepherds, you think the percussion could come down a little bit? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. This is cool. I like how the clap is still here, because that keeps you going for the second breakdown. bass line is dirty. One more time, let's just look at that bass line. So I just boosted up the mids and swept it down. There's a lot of good low end in the bass line. This is another one where I would keep it, you get the sub part out of the bass line. The bass line is fuzzy and dirty and can hold the low end above 100 hertz. And any of the stuff below 100, like 125 hertz, underneath that, you could really empty it out to make space for the bass. Right here. The house groove is totally working with the beats, the up and down thing. It's almost like I could just listen to the bass line and the beat, tweaking the bass line filter, and that would be enough for the whole track. Anything else extra has to either add to it in a nice way or avoid cluttering it up. And now this is good because we have bass line, beat, and that one guitar riff right here. That's good. So I think specifically is don't have the guitar thing fighting against the vocal thing in the same frequency range. Nice ending. Because maybe pan the guitar little thing farther to the side so the guitar and the vocal are really off on different sides and interacting nicely. So Matt Schultz, basically the tune is ready. Yeah. I think the claps are too loud. I don't know. Maybe I'm being really picky today about mid-range sounds, but the simplicity works so well. Like this. So that it just empties out. Yeah. Keep it simple. So then that's a nice one. One more mix on that, and that'll be ready for mastering. Okay, the Asylum. Let's see what we got. EQ back to flat. Okay. Yeah, the white noise hi-hat in the last one was my favorite. That was really cool. What's happening? Ooh. That's a gummy bass. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's be picky. Rhythmic action. This is cool. That's a great example of tweaking synths to make a build-up out of just a synth sound. I think of synths as like those speed bikes, like racing motorcycles. When you're driving with normal cars, they're just like, get out of the way, let me open up. And then when there's empty road or a racetrack, they're like, Wee! That's how I think about synths. They're always just like waiting to get let loose. In producer language, that means take a synth, put a low-pass filter on it, get to a moment, and undo the low-pass filter to just let the synth rip, like let it rip. Yeah, the kick drum is nice in this. And that. Ear candy. That clap makes it, or the snare. I mean, the high end is bright. It could be that snare. That is pretty bright. Exactly at 3.1 kilohertz. Nice mix. I can identify all the elements, kick, sub, synths, beats. This little jingly stuff, like atmospheric. Kind of wave motion too, like slow waves coming up and down. That's cool. Good sound design in this one. Do we get a section of only bass and beats? I'm kind of curious. Yes, there's the drop. There is a weird little high frequency spike right there at 20K. I don't know if somebody was hearing that. See that one thing? I like that ear candy. This one's nice and hypnotic too. Yeah. So there's a delay happening on the beats, changing the delay time to make it slurp. Is that right? A weirder side of a set, yeah. That one chord is a little lost. Hold on. Yeah, 542, like a dub techno kind of a vibe. I guess it's okay because it's kind of atmospheric in the background, but maybe you could try something crazy like even more reverb on that sound, so it's like whoosh, something, I don't know. Anybody else think that one sound could be louder? Maybe? That. Okay, now it was loud that time. That was good. And I like how the beat is anchoring all the other waves of synths. There's lots of like waves coming and going. Totally unpredictable what's going to happen in the track, but the beat is really consistent. So I just feel like I'm in it. Some little beat chops, OSP style. That little thing. I can hear it. It's okay as an atmospheric background. Randy, track is perfect. Yeah, it's pretty good. 7 hours ago. Yeah, right at 640, that dub techno chord clashes with the like. No, you can mix out of it. Just as long as you can get the pulse and introduce something new, I think you can mix out of it. Look at that bass. And I like the high frequency one, the jingly. That's super creepy. That stab sounded good. It was all by itself, just. There was one specifically, I guess, at 640 that really clashed with the melody, or whatever line this is. Let's just check 640 again. 643. That one stab is totally buried. I don't know. It's all right. Anyway, claps for the sound design. That rhythm. Really interesting. How do y'all feel about the low end? I'm digging it on headphones. And around here when the low end was really locking in. Nice and round, nice and soft, and also deep. I feel like the bottom is pretty well mixed. So I guess there's just a question about that one chord stab and then do another mix, and this one's done. Put it on vinyl and turn off the turntable. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. That's a cool thing. Cool jam. I think you got another one up this week. We do. Nebel Fog. Okay. EQ is flat. Right away, I noticed the kick has a long tail. Oh, sorry if I just redlined your broadcast. My bad. Good reverb. Little bit of low end crud around 250 or something that could get cleared up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That sound. Let's see. Yeah, the buzz. Yes. Clap could have a little more of a high snap on it. Clap is kind of dark. Let's see where it goes. Quality, yeah. Going in with the mid-range EQ. Right around there. Here's flat. Boost. Oh, wait. Hold on, before the breakdown, let me just check this EQ boost on the snare. Flat. Something around 2K, 2.5K EQ boost on the snare, I think would pull it out as a sharper kind of angle. I'm looking at your mix notes. More effects in the transition. Yeah, Oliver basically puts out stuff that's done. Totally. Yeah. Little detail, rolling it back. Check these little spikies. There was one around 1K. No, earlier, sorry. That. Even down at 1K can be too piercing on a big system when it's loud. So I would watch out for those mid-range spikes. They sound right, but they can easily be louder than you think. And I like the harmonic world too. It's like a peaceful thing, like kind of just settle into it. Like you have a long time with each bass note. Compared to your other tracks though, the kick drum feels not as focused. Like my very first impression was the kick drum had a long tail or was like kind of like a mid-rangey boxy kick, where a lot of your other tracks are just a really hard like boom, boom, boom. Yeah, the little reverse on the drop. So I think the low mids could still use a little work on this before it's done. That bass, the long bass sound has a lot of low end. Ooh, Scott, good point. The small details, the rhythmic details and filter sweeps make a big difference. Yeah. I want to roll back to just check out what low frequencies are happening. Okay, there's not too much sub in the bass line. The low end elements I'm hearing are kick drum, the bass line, and the upbeat kick. Whoa, whoa. Okay, let's move it on out. Going mono. And stereo. It does work in mono, so that's good. And do we get the kick drum by itself? Kick is big down to 40. There we had a couple of kick drum beats. Yeah, the stuff around 150 hertz in the kick drum. The kick drum has more mid-range than it needs, or low mids for a kick. So the body of the kick is real big, and the bass line and the upbeat kick are big. So I would try to define the kick as a really clean, round thump thump that's down deep, and not more of a scratchy, boxy kick. Too much side information? Maybe, yeah, maybe. Compilation candidate? Yeah. Tambourine, I agree. I didn't even notice the tambourine. It just felt right. Where was the tambourine? Cool. And how long do we go on the outro? And that was that loop in the sound. Yeah. All right, cool. So a little bit of low mid work and a little bit of watching out for that 1K spike in the mids. And it's pretty damn done. The details are amazing. The production details and the transitions and rhythmic variations really do make a track good. So if you're watching this and you're making tracks, after you get your basic layout done and you have your intro, your build up, your peak climax, the outro section and the ending, or however you work with those elements, go back through the transitions and changes. And the first layer of updates is adding sounds at the transition, like a basic cymbal crash, and don't forget to put them on all the transitions so you don't have just one at the beginning and forget, like I have done. Maybe a reverse cymbal crash to get into the transition, or a riser of some kind, or an effects sweep that carries over the transition moment. And once you have those sound design elements indicating the parts where the track changes, then go back and cut into the beats. And right before a transition, maybe cut out the beats for one bar, or double up the kick drum so it goes boom, 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 boom. All those little details, when you add them in, really make a big difference to take a track from a boring loop to a finished masterpiece. So that's what I recommend. Oh, what do we have here? Shepherd's remix of DJ Waters, who is having a multi-day birthday party, which is so funny. So EQ back to flat, stereo wide. Let's see what we got. And thanks for hanging out, everybody. Happy Saturday. There we go. Level coming up. Total rhythm. Oh, and Maxime, Mark Troy had an event last night. They had a mix set, a DJ set that looked like it was a really good night. So I guess he's not here. Oh, no difference on this one? Well, let's do the minute by minute skip and just check development. Okay, more rhythmic layers. We're gonna break down, wait for the drop. Heavy. There's the buzz. Jesper, no, I did not get your mail because I'm not looking at it during a broadcast. I'm sorry. I need it before 12. Before 12. And let's ride this out to the ending, see how it ends. Just a little palate cleanse. Okay. I guess we did that on Wednesday. So, version 3, Space in the Noise. Okay, shorter snare drum update, little vocal. Yeah, some EQ tweaks. I love it that people are picking up on these tiny details and making mix updates and noting them. Perfect. Snare feels natural. The synth reverb sounds good too. This is the kind of track where there's space for the synths to have a lot of reverb and be up there kind of floating around. Pew, pew, pew. Yes. Yeah, man, I think you nailed it. I think this is good. Same little 1K peak, so. Pew, pew. All right, we'll skip through, yeah. Mr. Milvis, interesting question. Low frequencies below 35? I would put that up to the mastering engineer. You know, because the production, we're hearing it and we can hear what's happening in the sounds. It doesn't sound like something I think needs to get fixed in the mix. Let's go for the ride on this build-up. Sneaking it in. Nice stereo field happening. Yeah, there is some slow, like subsonic stuff that you could have, like in the mastering, clean that up a bit. Nice drop in. Let's skip through and see what we got. Yeah. Totally better with that vocal thing louder. Ozone Master, okay, okay. Oh yeah, I got you low, yeah. I think the vocals are perfect. They're much more like, you can grab it, you know, as you're listening to it. It's like, oh, it like steers you to that part. Yeah, this is sounding, Ben, good job. Claps are nicely mixed, percussion layers. The cymbal, yeah. I like it. Hey, Linda's here, favorite so far, how you doing? Thanks for signing up on Patreon last week. All those little inner synths, like bump, bump, bump. Bass line, the plucks, the high string kind of thing. That fourth one. Is that like 4 synth layers? Perfect. Snare taps, crash, bam. I'm rolling in it, man. I'm good. Yeah. Ben Hunt making progress. Let's take it out to the ending. Like old Oakenfold, yeah. I hear that delay on the crash, all right. And the sounds all sit together nicely. They're like, they kind of merge, you know? Almost sounds like one big synth where you press the chord and you get all this stuff coming out. And you think there's more than 4, yeah? Okay, don't give away your secrets. And that filter sweep up to the ending. Listen to one that goes. Filter sweep comes up, releases into the end of the track. That is the perfect way to transition into something else. Ben Hunt getting some claps. And a nice ending without cutting off the reverb tails. Good job, man. That one's done. Done, done, done. David Copperfield, version 4. EQ, flat, stereo, okay. Okay, just checking the noise floor. A little scratchy. Okay, we got a different kick drum here, yeah? And some bass filtering and stuff. I could almost feel this one going faster. That's a nice round kick. Oh. I'm gonna check in mono. The bass line is really nice and out front, and I was feeling it stereo. And back to stereo. That bass line is good. It's really thick and wide. Some of the background synths could be a little louder. I hear some little stuff. I hear some synths, but it's not as loud. All right. Yeah, I can hear the sweeps and effects and synths and everything, but that central bass line is a lot louder than the other ones in the synth group. That was a cool transition, kind of morphing sound. One more time on that drop. Feels like there's a low frequency explosion kind of sound. I wanted to see it. There was something that was a little bit like boom. Am I right on that, or am I not right? Is there one extra bass sound on that drop that's like yeah, synths are cool. This one has a mind bender feel. I gotta tell you, that ongoing acid bass synth. This is just me moving the mid-range EQ. It's nice to have filters moving as a rhythmic part of the beat. Like set the filter to like a two bar timing. So it's like up, down, 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 down. That can be a fun thing to do with filters. But these are working. Yeah. And then open it up towards the transition, cut the beat out. This is cool, man. I was just starting to have fun with this one, tweaking the middle. Playing laser tag. Oh, Ben, a kick with loads of reverb at the drop. Okay, that explains it. Thanks. The reverb came across to me as like a impactful thing. I wanted to know what it was. Sounded like it was there too. That makes sense, yeah. Okay, these little that up high synth melody thing could be louder. And there's a tick for the drum mix. The snare is nice and out front, and I can hear the hi-hat, right? But there's another layer that's like a ticky-ticky layer. I would pull up that ticky-ticky layer a little bit more and take the snare down just a little bit so it has a groove of like that ongoing groove. Slight details in the drum mix, but I'm just becoming aware of this kind of sound. It sounds like she's saying like fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. Not really, but a little bit. I like the kick. And a big flash. That's like a David Copperfield ending, like whoosh, and he disappears. Cool, man. All right, good mix, good mix. I think version 5 will be the final one. And And we'll clap on version 5, but not version 4. Okay, bass frequencies, talking about that. Cool. Yeah, the bass line and the kick drum edits are good on that one. So get the other synths up in the same kind of space as the bass. And a little bit of percussion mixing. And I think we're good to go. Mr. Melvis, V1, second mix. Dreamy ambient, EQ back to flat. And thanks for help with the meeting notes. That's super cool. We've been making some good record label update notes for everybody who's interested in that. Drums are super clear. The contrabass, yeah. Did you bring that guitar lead down at all? Ooh, the Tony Allen drum style. That's an interesting comment. These strings I love. That's like the dreamy part for me. Yeah, that's good. The guitar placement I noticed. This part feels like a movie soundtrack with those strings, like... Wait, what was that one? .231, that one loud clink. Like one hi-hat was like super loud right there. Prince on the guitar, yeah. It is, it's smooth. Interesting chords, almost like Steely Dan territory on those chord changes. Walter on the guitar, noodling around. This is good. It all sits well together when all the sounds are in at the same time. The beginning felt a little bit empty. Let's just roll back to the beginning. Hit the loop switch. Mr. Melvis gets the loop switch award. Fade down. And I get a little of a Steely Dan feel. You know, the piano could use some more low end to blend with the contrabass holding the low end. I hear there's some low notes on the piano, and at this intro, this might take some mix automation that later in the track, you might need to take the piano low end down. But at the beginning, if it sounded like an actual person playing a grand piano in the room with you, That would be badass. And if there's a way you could have a little less reverb on the kick drum. The kick drum for me could be nice and dead and dry, just like boop, boop, boop. I noticed the reverb on the drums, and most of the drum mix is comfortable, but at the beginning the kick feels a little bit like present. Let's go back to the here, when everything is sweeping, I'm open to this one, but I think the overall drum mix could come down just a little bit to let this piano and epicness float, right? I was just getting there, Scott. They're remixing on this one. This part right here with no drums. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do on this for a remix. So maybe we might be into a sharing of stems type situation. Coming up here. I don't know if I agree with this fade out. I think that could go 4 minutes and a little bit, have just a little bit more of that section with the voice and the guitar and the beats, and then leave the long fade out for whatever you do with the mastering engineer, so that just in case people want to have a 4 minute and 10-second track, they could. Which is to say, I like the ending, and I could hear the ending a little bit longer. Tried it with no drums for the strings, sounded too empty. Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely, like it needs a percussion part in the track. And it's a nice compliment when people hear the harmonic section and feel like, oh, what would I do with the drums? Usually remixing is like replacing the drums and, chopping stuff up and everything. So, Caesar's out. Okay. Gotta go. See you later. And some comments. Cool. But Mr. Melvis, nice job. Give you some claps. If that's only the second mix, it's definitely getting there. I would personally try a mix with the whole drum mix down a little bit, more low end in the piano at the beginning, so we have a big, like, full range piano sound, and see if you can let the piano, the left-hand notes of the piano merge with the long drone bass notes and have that bottom end kind of work together, which is a bit of a challenging mix because we're on the line between acoustic organic instruments and electronic processing. So there's a way to do it right, and there's a way to don't it wrong. Ben Hunt, thank you. Don't fade out. Yeah, cut off too early. Yeah, man, people want to feel that chord change. That got interesting at the end. So let it roll. Let it roll, let it roll. Randy, cool. I'm glad you got this track in before the end. Here we go. Yeah, man. That bass is serious. Whoa. Whoa. Snare has to be louder, I think, but let's see what else happens. It works so well to have your sub bass on the opposite rhythm from your kick. Boop, boop. When you put the sub as an upbeat, there's so much room for it. Yeah, I'm feeling like the whole percussion world can come up on this. Okay, that's good. The tickies are kind of loud. I'm gonna do my low EQ down, raise volume. Nah, this shit is serious. The sound I like is the middle. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's kind of subtle, but it gets you. Matt Schultz, snare brighter, less lows on that, gated reverb. Okay, there you go. Later, Jesper. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, man. New sound. Oh shit, sorry, that's clipping a little bit. I had it turned up too loud. Turn my headphones up. Matthew to everyone. The snare needs more. That sound. I love it. That's like the deep house vibe, right? Cut the snare out here, I think. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, in that empty section, I don't think you need the snare drum at all. And this new sound is super cool. Damn, Randy, this is jamming. What is that sound? It's a percussion layer? Totally working. Yeah. Is this fast? Is this like 125 or 127 or something? I don't know what tempo we're at now. 130. I never did tap tempo and track feedback before. That sound. That's cool. The steadiness. Okay, there's a high frequency sound that comes in. Check out when it's gone. And then it comes back in. It's like that scratchy, fast. Totally holds the groove together. Yeah, 130. DJ Waters is laughing from his hungover state. Solid groove, solid groove. Mr. Melvis, thanks for hanging out. See you on Wednesday. Squeeze it easy. And then back to this part. Okay, cool, man. Really good vibe. So the main things you have to do is just pull down the kick and the sub layer because they were way blowing out the mix compared to everything else. And nice details. And then the main thing is back here from 229, just cut the snare because the synths are cool. And the chicka 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 is holding the groove. Right? Yeah, here. No snare. The music just stopped for me. What else just stopped? Are we still streaming? Derp. Okay, is that a SoundCloud issue? SoundCloud, come on, man. Sorry about that, everybody. I guess that's the end of Randy's mix notes for today. Hopefully that's just SoundCloud doing that, right? Yeah. Okay, all I was saying was cut out the snare drum here until 257. So 229 to 257, about 30 seconds. You don't need the snare drum, and we can really just float with those chords. And I think we'll be good. All right, cool. Randy Adams. I think that'll be done next mix. So we'll give you a couple claps. Full claps when it's finished. Looks like we got Paul and... Oh, shit. Caesar just left. Should have done this before. Yeah, good. Okay, I'm glad that was only the SoundCloud glitch. So, Paul Robinson, El Bunker. And let me get EQ back to flat. Stereo centered. Here we go. Oh, I like it already. Nasty kick. That's me turning it up right here. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I gotta hear that again. Reverse bass, whoop, coming into it. Little high pass filter and back in. Damn, Paul, you're getting hard. Good layering, bringing in the claps right at the right time. Yeah. Good mix, man. Listening to everything. Bassline for sure. Yeah. It's possible that the kick drum and the bass line have a little bit of overlap. So Paul, maybe you could make the tail of the kick drum a little bit shorter, because the kick has a nice hard beginning. Doesn't need to have a super like drone tail, because the bass line has a long duration. The kick is not too long, but so basically the theme here is like if your bass line is a long droning note, you want the kick drum to be short. And if you have a kick drum that's like boof, boof, then you want to have bass notes that are short and stubby in between them. That bass line's awesome. Look at that. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, man. Those two low notes. Whoa, whoa. I love it. That's cool though. I can see the peak of the kick is like right where those two low bass notes are. So the low end is mixed pretty well. Maybe just the kick tone. And you could also get crazy and layer up some like dubstep wubs on here that absolutely just like a little bit of good changes, changing the rhythm every little once in a while. Oh, and the pitch shift. That's some trippy ear candy. You know what? I think you could cut the kick drum out alone right here. Maybe? Hold on. What the exact moment, right? Maybe around 320. Totally. I'm taking it out with EQ. let us just have the beats and that bass line doing awesome stuff, right? Then coming back around here, back in. 335. Oh. Yeah, like that. Try 8 bars with no kick drum before that drop at 334, so we can really feel that bass line and like wait for the kick. So bass is the main character of this track for sure. What do you guys think about that high frequency one? That could be a little louder, I think. Little bleep kind of thing. Right here. That exact sound. Yeah, that little high synth I could be just a little touch louder. Nice percussion rolls there. Little triplets. Oh, you're coming in at 132. Did you ever tap tempo and get it exactly on the 0-0? Chugging along. Chicka, chicka. Hey Steve, what do you do on Saturday? Oh, I sing along with electronic music on YouTube. That's what I feel like I'm doing sometimes, trying to like describe a sound, or I'm like singing it like ticka ticka ticka. Oh, dissenting opinion, Matt Schultz. Cut the bass line and then 4 bars after the hats come in, bring it back in, maybe with a tiny drop. Totally could work. But Paul, nice. Oh shit. I love it. What instrument is that bass synth coming from? This little bleep thing, I totally want that louder. Claps for the bass line alone and everything else about the track. Whew. I hate the lag time. So Paul, yeah, what instrument is that coming from? And at the end, when you tweak this stuff here, the resonance comes higher and it goes like, meow. What if you did that earlier, like over? Maybe tweak the resonance there. So you guys are saying cut the bass line, then 4 bars after the hats come in, bring it back in. I'm not sure I understand where exactly you would cut the... Oh, is that the sound you shared in the racks? Oh, cool. Thanks. I saw that you shared a sound in the presets, but I didn't play with it yet. And back in. Cool. All right, I got to check this out. Thanks for sharing the preset. And I love it when people start debating arrangement and form, because it's like the feel of the music is like making other people imagine what they would do with it. And that's a true creative explosion happening from inside your head. So nice one. Is Shepard still here? Curious what the Shepard's opinion is on the kick drum. And just from the beginning one more time. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so just a couple little notes, and maybe that could be done on the next mix. Fading it down in for the last one of the day. That's a heavy bottom. Oliver, yeah, the last track kick needs more for like a real like hearing compared to this one that came on. I guess the kick could be heavier in Paul's track. So maybe a shorter duration on the kick drum and heavier low bottom, or maybe just louder in the mix. Could be. Version 3 on the way. All right, good. Those vocals. Okay, so the vocoder vocal thing has a little too, feels a little cluttered with the low part of it, and there's a background synth layer that's like in the synth. It feels like, you hear that? That would like a little louder. Let's see where we go. Yeah, this is cool. And is this what we have? I'm not sure if those are the same stems. Yeah, clean drums. There's an inner bass line mix that I would like louder. This one coming up. This bass sound, I think could be totally louder. Whoa, what is that? So maybe not so much low end in the voice thing. I'll keep those up above 300. Because it'll still come through without overlapping the other mid low stuff. I like that. Whoop. Here we go. Going up. Damn. Taking it to a peak. Yeah, right here. Headphones up. That's a good drop. And I like what the hi-hats are doing. Ticka, 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 ticka. Yeah, nice and simple right here. Some of that's a little too much. What was that? Like those extra snare hits with reverb. Maybe a little too loud. I didn't quite get that part. The beats are feeling good. Main thing I think we need is the vocoder sound to have just less bass. It's so nice and loud and wide. So the power of it is going to come through. And when the lows are less, the bass line will stay in front too. So they can all share that middle low thing. What is that voice? Okay, and that snare drum thing that keeps happening that's like a white noise, like it's a little too often. I think that's the right comment. That. But back to here. .459, when the voices are happening, that snare drum slash is like too much on top of it. That one, less often. Organ is cool. The vocoder reminds me of the voice from Donnie Darko when the rabbit Frank is talking. Oh my god. Hey Paul, thanks for hanging out. Get your dog. Good progress. It's really nice to hear your work. It jumped up levels recently. It's really good. So cut the kick and use that snare for just transition sound, yeah. And now there's a little synth that's in the background that's getting lost. What is that? Wait, it was back here. You hear that? There's some little melody in there that's like a little too quiet. And by now that snare, it's like too much. This is cool. The bass and drums ending. I don't understand why that snare is happening so much. It's too often, I'm sorry. It's just like, maybe if you cut the kick drum out and have that thing that you're doing with the snare, just like cut the kick when that's happening and then don't do it so many times in the track. And the bass line is cool in here. Layer for you. Yeah, probably the same as the original. Maybe that's like a foundation element. I don't know the original, so I probably should not talk about it some more. So let's go back to the beginning. And for anybody who made it all the way to the end and somehow doesn't know what to do next, go to courses.mixtexture.com. Oh, that's my admin section. And grab yourself a look at some hands-on session lessons where you can learn production skills by doing Ableton tutorials that are built inside the program to play with sound design and other fun things that happen in the track, like escaping the 8-bar loop and mixing. And you can sign up and join the track feedback crew. Learn about compression in depth for sidechaining, and what you learn in this course will teach you about all kinds of compression as a sound design function for pulsing your synths and effects, as well as for detailing your kick and your sub bass, which is so important, and we talk about it all the time. I think I'm going to start just teaching these as live workshops again, because the details, there's so much to talk about, and then you can grab the hands-on lesson and go deeper if you really want to learn by doing it. Learning is something you do. It's not something you watch. That's the biggest message I have for everybody, and everybody in the group is doing an amazing job with updating and hearing the effects and hearing the tracks improve. And for anybody else who's watching at the end, what you want to do is get yourself a hands-on session lesson and actually learn by playing with the sounds, tweaking the knobs, and hearing what happens when you change an EQ and feel the difference, or change a compressor setting and feel the difference, because you learn when you actually experience the sound yourself, tweaking it and playing with it. You learn the fun way by playing with it. Like driving a car, right? You learn by like steering and driving around. Yeah, you need a little bit of practice theory so you don't kill yourself, but with music, that's not a problem. You're not gonna break anything. So hands-on learning is the way to do it, and that's what I'm all about. So watch for more workshops and stuff on that. If you just want to show your support, what you can do is go to patreon.com/mixatexture and make a little donation monthly, or even sign up and join the track feedback crew to get your tracks reviewed on live stream with specific updates for sound design, song structure, mixing, and even mastering to get them ready for release. And we're really happy to be seeing people come out with new releases. Maxime, yes, you missed the whole entire session, but it looks like you had a good party last night, so that was cool. Those video clips were awesome. Speaking of video clips and publishing, probably the most exciting thing of the year is, for me, we are starting a Mixatexture record label. We're going to put out compilations and eventually get singles and EPs released out onto Beatport and TrackSource and streaming and all the other sites. But for now, we're just going to start with a Bandcamp compilation. And what's really going to make it work is everybody putting together their photos, their video clips, their little descriptions, their promo materials, and then we can all take them and share them. So everybody who's part of the compilation, actually everybody who's part of the group, can help promote and share little pieces of it, little previews and interviews and snippets and all the stuff we've been doing, promoting little releases or doing interviews and stuff. Now we can just pull all those techniques together and share them all together and promote them all together. Same as how we give each other feedback on our tracks. Now we can give the rest of the world news and updates on what's coming out so that the releases can be successful and we can use them to grow the group and get some actual traction for releasing stuff out to a wider audience. So I'm excited about that, and I'm glad that other people are being supportive and helping me do it because I can't do it all alone, and we got a good crew working on it. So everybody else, watch out for news on that. And that's going to be it. It's Saturday. I'm going to finish painting an apartment. Got a little bit of paint on my finger because I do these things sometimes on the weekends. And if you have any questions, like what else is on this release, Matt? I don't know. Let me know, steve@mixatexture.com. I am here. Thanks, everybody. Doink. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. I love doing Saturdays, and track feedback's my favorite day of the week. So I'll see you on Wednesday. All right, peace.